Welcome to the President's Diary, where we take a look at His Excellency Dr. President Irfaan Ali's week of activities. While attending the Barama Company Limited's 30th anniversary celebration Sunday last at their Land of Canaan East Bank Demerara headquarters, His Excellency said his government is ready to work with the manufacturing sector to certify their value-added products and to fuel growth in the forestry sector.
The government is willing to work with the sector in ensuring that we move towards product certification, because we cannot speak about accessing new markets or opening up new markets in isolation of the product certification that is a necessary tool to enter the markets.
President Ali said a collaboration between the government and the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association is needed. The president underscored that the government also recognizes the negative effects of the high cost of energy on the manufacturing sector. He said this is why his administration is moving towards the proposed gas-to-energy project, the Mile of Falls Hydro project, and others in a bid to halve the cost of electricity. On Monday, President Ali attended the 16th Special Emergency Meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community virtually from State House. He was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hugh Todd, and Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Monday afternoon, His Excellency was conferred with the Rotary International Paul Harris Fellow Award at State House. President Ali, who received 2 pins and a certificate from Rotary Club President Mrs. Ramona Singh, credited the not-for-profit organization for its continuous and sustained approach to improving the livelihood of communities. He said the Rotary has led by example in fighting hunger and other social issues.
I was very pleased to see members of the Rotary playing a leading role in the vaccination drive for children. I think that these things are great examples, not only for us as leaders, but great examples for the rest of Guyana as to how we support each other, how we can work together in helping each other and making our society more humane and making our society one in which humanity wins at the end of the day.
The President on International Day of Democracy 2021 said Guyana is pleased to join with the international community in observing the day and reiterated the country's commitment to democracy.
Democracy is predicated on respect for freedom and human rights, and respect for the will of the people through free and fair elections held at periodic intervals. As the Caribbean Court of Justice has observed, elections that are free, fair, transparent, and accountable are the lifeblood of a true democracy. The people of Guyana once experienced the agonies and anguish of rigged elections and its consequential effects: authoritarian rule, the abuse of human rights, and the upending of economic development. Many were forced to scamper from our beloved motherland in order to escape persecution. As threat to free and fair elections represents an assault on democracy, Guyana have a duty to zealously guard the country's democracy. For almost 2.5 decades in the past, our people were deprived of the right to elect a government of their choice. And 1 year ago, there was an attempt to subvert the will of the electorate. That plot was repelled because of the heroism of our people, who stood defiant against the plot to rig our elections. Democracy prevailed, and our nation was rescued from the tentacles of dictatorship. I take this opportunity to once again applaud all those, both at home and abroad, who stood by Guyana during those very difficult days. That experience has strengthened our resolve to ensure that our democracy is never again imperiled. Let us, therefore, all commit on this International Day of Democracy to ensure that the democratic will of our people is never again threatened.
Also on Wednesday, His Excellency accepted the credentials of the new United Nations Resident Coordinator to Guyana, Ms. Yasmin Uruk, at State House. Ms. Uruk replaces Ms. Mikiko Tanaka, who served from 2016 to 2021. Prior to her appointment as the highest-ranking UN official in Guyana, Mrs. Uruk served as UNDP's Deputy Director in Washington from 2016 to 2021, United Nations Development Programme UNDP Country Director in Albania, and UNDP Resident Representative and Deputy Resident Representative in Romania, 2008 to 2012. She joined the UNDP in 1996 as a national officer in Turkey. Earlier this month, the new UN representative officially presented her letters of credence to Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hugh Todd.
Later Wednesday afternoon, His Excellency and several high-level government officials met with a delegation from Abu Dhabi Ports at the office of the President on Shiv Chandra Paul Drive.
He was accompanied by Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for Finance Dr. Ashni Singh, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgehill, Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Anuj Waldron, and Director of Projects in the Office of the President Mrs. Marcia Nadir Sharma.
President Ali has said investment in sports must have a bottom-up approach in order to achieve results.
President Ali made those remarks as he presented lawn mowers and brush cutters to the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport to service the grounds countrywide on Thursday.
When you're looking for talent and you're looking to support the growth of talent and the growth of athletes in the different communities, it has to be investment that is bottom up. And that is exactly what you're seeing here. The entire approach by the government and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture is community engagement, community involvement, community participation, community ownership, community spirit. And once we build this type of integration across all the communities, it will resound to the one Guyana that we want to create.
President Ali says this investment is the beginning of many others to neighborhood democratic councils.
But much more than creating sporting facilities, we want to create wellness centers, safe zones in which families, children can come out as a family unit and they can enjoy sharing time with a wider community in a safe environment.
The president says government is at the moment examining the cost to establish proper night facilities across the country by the end of next year.
Every single region must have at least one proper night facility. And then we're going to build that out to ensure that in the larger regions we have more facilities like these. And in every NDC and in areas where there is no NDC, in a group of villages, we are looking to put one facility that would stimulate interest in sports.
The head of state also disclosed that a physical education program will soon be launched, targeting communities and schools. It will be a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Education.
I've already asked Charles to look at ex-athletes. We have some very good cricketers who would have retired, footballers who would have retired, and let us bring them into a mentorship and coaching program so we can train them in mentorship and coaching to go out there on behalf of the ministry.
On Thursday evening, His Excellency granted approval for the Because We Care Cash Grant and School Uniform and Supplies Grant Program to be extended to children attending private schools.
You will recall earlier this year when we launched this initiative, it was announced that the initiative was applicable to parents of children attending schools in the public school system only. Since then, we have received a number of inquiries into children attending private schools. The Vice President, Minister of Education, and other cabinet members would have committed to the population that we will examine that request. And in keeping with our manifesto, which was to ensure all children benefit from this program, I'm pleased today that this program will be extended to all children attending private school.
The program, which is a brainchild of the PPPC, enjoyed widespread popularity over the years, until it was discontinued by the APNU-AFC while they were in office. It has since been restarted by the new PPPC government, and the amount of the grant has been increased. The Because We Care grant is now valued at $15,000, and the school uniform and supplies grant valued at $4,000, amounting to $19,000 per student.
President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali is in Mexico for the 6th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the Caribbean, of Latin America and Caribbean states. This has been President's Diary, where we took a look at His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali's week of activities. Thanks for watching. Join us again next week.